It's said that bad things come in groups of three. The year I turned 30, there was a 3-day period that changed my life forever. Looking back now, all these years later, I wonder how I survived. It all started on an average Monday in an average week. My husband asked for a divorce. On Tuesday, I got a call from my doctor to come in to see him. He told me I had thyroid cancer. I don't remember what he said after the word cancer, and I don't remember how I got back to work, but I did. Then on Wednesday, I lost my job. Any one of these can cripple you, but all three in 3 days? My treatment couldn't begin until my children went to their fathers for summer break a few months after diagnosis. That's when I found out I no longer had health insurance. My children's father removed me from his policy the day he asked for a divorce. Every time I tell anyone that part of my story, they say, "But that's illegal." And they're right. But it didn't change the fact that he did it, and I was left with no insurance at a critical point in my life. My radiation treatment would have required that I remain in the hospital for its week-long duration. But with no insurance, I got the first treatment and drove myself home. At some point soon after diagnosis, someone said to me, "It's just thyroid cancer. No one dies from thyroid cancer." And I believed them. I honestly believed them. And no matter how hard things got, I believed them. I think it was that belief that helped me survive, and I've been cancer-free for over 20 years. I survived another type of cancer too, one that affects 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men. It's a cancer called domestic violence. I grew up in a house full of abuse. That was the life I knew. So when I married an abuser, I thought that's what life was supposed to be. In the years following my diagnosis and a lengthy, ugly divorce, I learned a lot about myself. I learned what healthy relationships look like, and I knew if I was ever going to be in a relationship again in my life, it would be so different. In 2005, I met my forever husband, Peter. He's everything I never even knew I wanted. Supportive in every way, because of him, I was able to start a career in the nonprofit sector. My dream was to make a difference in this world, and with Peter by my side, that's what we've set out to do. I've worked in nonprofits that benefit the homeless, and run nonprofits, including ones that help children in foster care. And domestic violence was a common thread in every one of these organizations. In 2019, it was time for my second act. I started a nonprofit of my own called Control-Alt-Delete. The techie name is perfect because sometimes you need to reset your life. Control-Alt-Delete helps people who are in the process of escaping domestic violence but have immediate needs. 99% of all abuse victims are also financially abused. We are there to bridge the gap because something as small as a $5 gas card can make the difference between staying and escaping. And that can make the difference between life and death. On average, we have 4 escapes every day. That's 4 people taking the steps to become survivors. One of our very first calls for help was from a mother of 3 who was escaping to another state. She needed gas for her car. I met her at a gas station on the other side of town. She was easy to spot with black eyes and fresh stitches at her mouth. The 3 toddlers in the back of her car were completely silent. If you have kids, or if you have ever been around kids, you know they are never silent. My plan that day was to give her a gas card and a bin of basic immediate needs, filled with hygiene items and essentials. But seeing her broken but determined spirit, I knew what I had to do. I told her to pull her car to the pump and I filled the tank. Then I ran inside and bought tons of snacks for the ride. I gave her the gas card and the bin and wished her a safe trip. And then I gave her the biggest, most encouraging hug I could. She took the step to become a survivor that day. Between September of 2019 until today, Control-Alt-Delete has helped facilitate 2,014 escapes. The family unit includes 1,989 women, 25 men, and 4,209 children, who are all now safe. That's 6,223 new survivors. Everyone has a battle, but I believe that everyone can become a survivor of that battle. My dream, my second act, is to create a society of survivors, all of whom will now have the chance to create their own second act.